Hello fellow petrol heads, welcome to Jay's Motor World. Today I'm going to be giving some consumer advice. We are going to see how much you need to earn to be able to afford a 300,000 Rand vehicle. And I'm going to be giving my personal recommendations on what you should buy if you had that 300,000 Rand. Let's get to it.
Okay guys, so we are using 300,000 as our figure. I'm using a few factors here to determine how we can work out our affordability. So the first one is we're going to work on 5 years. We're going to work on a 5-year payment term. That's basically 60 months. We're going to work on a lending rate at prime plus 1, so 11.5%. We're going to work on a 0% deposit and no trading. So basically a pure 300,000 Rand over 5 years at 11.5%. After working out my calculations, I get to a monthly repayment of 6,636 Rand. I've added insurance of 800 Rand and I've added a tracking device of 120 Rand. So many factors will obviously influence what insurance amount you get, but on a 300,000 Rand, you should average around 800 Rand per month on insurance. Obviously, like I said, many factors out there affect your insurance premium. Things like your age, your demographic, your driving history, and also what type of vehicle we get for that 300,000 Rand. So if it's a high risk popular vehicle, your insurance would be higher. And if it's your obviously not such a common vehicle, you will get lucky to get a bit of a lower premium. Your tracking device, I've seen, through all the providers, your average amount should be about 120 Rand. That's not for the absolute top of the range and it's not for the bottom of the range, but it's one where it has your enough features. It will have your remote tracking from wherever. So I think 120 Rand is a fair budget to put for your tracking device. So all three of these added, I get to 7,556 Rand. That's how much we need per month for a 300,000 Rand vehicle. My other factor, and this is a main one in determining affordability, is the safest advice I can give is to not exceed 25% of your budget. So whatever you net, do not take more than 25% of that net amount and put it towards a vehicle. You never know what that 75% might be, and in your 75% there's lots of emergencies that could rock up and you need to be prepared for that. So we say safest advice. I myself, coming from a finance background, I will also say 25% is your max. So that means you need to net around 30,224 Rand per month in order to have 25% of that be your 7,500 here. What does 30,224 equate to? Let's look at the gross amount. So your salary, you need to gross 37,500. How did I get to 37,500? So I like to use a website. It's called Taxterm. I have no affiliation with this website. It's just something I've been using over the years. So let's go to Taxterm. So what I did under Taxterm is I played around with the amounts here, and the closest I came to get to our 30,000 is 37,500 before deductions. Once calculated, your take-home pay comes to around that 30,258. As you can see in this calculation and go down, Taxterm does it for you. It takes out your PAYE. It says how much your 1% of your UIF should be. It basically gives you quite a fair breakdown. If you had to have a pay slip with just these basic amounts, this is what you would net. So that's why I said 37,500 is what your cost to company should be, and we get close to our 30,000 that we need to afford our 300,000 Rand vehicle. if I come back here, so you guys need to just take into consideration that's just 37,500. It will differ. In your public sector, it will differ. So public sector, you get a lot of benefits over in your package. So you guys just need to think back how you'll get back to your 30,224 that you need to net. And obviously a lot of other things are determined on your pay slip. So I just did a very basic, cost to company, taking out your PAYE and your UIF, etc. There's no other things. There's nothing else like medical aid, fuel allowance included in my calculation. This is just a very rough idea. So use this as your minimum. Of course, it will be better if you can get more than that, but yeah. So that 37,500 equates to a 450,000 rand annual cost to company. That 450,000 rand, obviously it's for 12 months. It doesn't include things like a 13 check or a bonus, things like that. So again, more things to take into consideration, but I'm just giving you a basic idea. Next one is what jobs pay your 37,500. So I just did another basic one. I went into Google. I said, these days you can use AI to check what information you need, and Google actually came up with some fairly accurate job description there. So for 37,500 per month, you're looking at certain roles like in your healthcare, you could be a pediatrician. Management and sales, you could be a sales manager, key accounts manager. In finance, you are looking at a business consultant. Chartered accountants can earn this amount and more. Specialized roles. So this is also just very basic breakdown. Again, public sector, your job descriptions differ, and they have pay scales which also differ to what you get in your private sector. So this is just a basic overview of what job roles in South Africa pay 37,500 or more. Now we get to the fun part, the cars. What cars would I recommend if you had this 300,000 rand budget? So the first one, I've broken it down into two categories. I'm looking at the longer established brands, and we'll look at the Chinese brands after that. So this, again, keep in mind 300,000 rand budget. My list of cars, I've got 5 of the established brands and 1 of the Chinese brands. How did I get to this 300,000 rand and these cars? So I like to troll on the Auto Trader website. It's just been my favorite site to go to. I've got no affiliation with the website, but I think since that website came up, I've always been trolling it. So, and it also keeps me up to date with what the car price trends are. So on their website, so these prices of the 300,000 rand is either 300,000 and say it hovers between say 280 and 300,000 rand. What you put in that type of bracket on the website, and it kicks out these vehicles for you. Whether all the dealerships give you these prices, I cannot confirm that. Obviously, on the actual manufacturers' websites, they have the prices are a bit more. But for what I saw on Auto Trader, these are what I came up with. So, my first choice, the Citroen Aircross 1.2 turbo automatic. I put your 7-seater because I did see some 7-seaters, but I think we're more likely to get the 5-seater. The Citroen C-Cross. Here's it. So it's not a small vehicle. It's a very good size for what you're getting. I feel you're getting a lot of metal for what you pay. And let me just zoom in. If you look at the spec sheet, it's a very comprehensively spec'd vehicle. We've got a 1.2T. I'm looking at the Max. Let me just confirm. I'm looking at the Max and the Max 7-seater. The Plus is a normally aspirated one that you can actually pick up for much less than 300,000 rand. But in the Max, you get a 1.2 liter turbocharged engine. You've got 81 kilowatts, 205 Newton meters of torque, and this automatic is a normal torque converter automatic, not a CVT as you'll see with most vehicles in this price range, but 6-speed automatic, 444 liters boot space. You get 17-inch alloys. I'm just going to go over the main things that stand out here. You get LED projector headlamps, LED daytime running lights, rear air vents. Your infotainment system is very comprehensive. And the main one for me is the safety. Safety at this price point always takes a knock, but I mean, look at this, Max. You've got front airbags, you've got side airbags, front and rear curtain airbags, electronic stability control, ABS, EBD. I mean, you're spoiled here. You're not even left wanting for anything more. Even a tire pressure monitor. Then here's the icing on the cake: a 5-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty. Guys, come on! For that price, what you're getting here, it sounds too good to be true. Okay, what's my next one on the list? Next one, we have the Mahindra 3XO. This vehicle was recently launched in the country. Sorry. The specific one I'm talking about here is the AX5 with a manual transmission. Let's just go down to the specs. So like I said, AX5 with a manual transmission. So how the spec sheet works is they start with the MX2, MX3. These two are obviously cheaper, but your AX5 is at the top of my 300,000 Rand budget range. So the AX5 basically comes with everything the MX2 has, plus the MX3, and then their own. And as you can see, sure, very comprehensively spec vehicle as well. This in size, it's probably around the same height as the Citroen, but it's quite a bit shorter. And this is Indian vehicle, so it's very reliable. Your Citroen is part of the Stellantis group, so also been long in the game. So I mean, look here, spot choice from your MX2 to the MX3. You guys can read from there, but also let me just go over the key features that stand out for me. I mean, yeah, rear view camera, keyless entry, push button start. You've got 6 speakers, auto headlamps, auto wipers. Even on your MX2, your safety features, it's enough that you need. If you push up to the AX7, which is over our 300k budget, then you get many nice to have features, but not stuff that you really need. Let's go a bit more down. Let's see if they give us anything more. This also has a 1.2 liter turbocharged engine, slightly more power than the Citroen, 1 kilowatt more than the Citroen, and you've got 200 Newton meters, 6-speed manual transmission. These also, it's not mentioned here on this spec sheet, but these also have a 5-year warranties. Let me see if it's anywhere that I can see. I didn't see it anywhere on this spec sheet, but they also come with a 5-year warranty, so you have that peace of mind. Cool. Number 3 on my list, I've got the Kia Sonet 1.5 LS manual transmission. So very popular vehicle, the Kia Sonet. You see many of them on the road. I feel it's a very cute vehicle, but also handsome at the same time. This recently had a facelift where you can see you've got this the light running along the back here. The front, the lights are different as well. So the specific one I'm looking at is the LS spec, which falls just under the 300,000 Rand budget. So it's a LS manual. Let's go see the spec sheet of the LS manual. Let me just zoom in here. 1.5 LS. So it's basically the entry level to the Sonet range. Okay, what do we have? Standout features here. Let's see, safety, security. You have 2 airbags. You've got stability control, hill assist control. As long as you got stability control, I just feel you're safe. Here we're specifically looking at the 6-speed manual. Very comprehensively spec'd. Obviously, as you move up, you've got the more nice to have features. But I mean, you're getting a safe, reliable vehicle. Let's see how much of power the 1.5 engine has. It's got 84 kilowatts, 84.7 kilowatts to be specific, and 143 newton meters. So kilowatts, you are there with the Citroen and the Mahindra, but since this is not a turbocharged engine, you are down a little bit on torque. But as the vehicle is light and you are able to, roll the gears yourself, it's a very sprightly drive. Kia also comes with a 5-year unlimited kilometer warranty. Let me not say also, because the others are 5 years, but the kilometer is different. This is an unlimited kilometer warranty, and you get a 3-year 45,000 kilometer service plan. So again, for 5 years, you covered. Next on my list, and I had to include the Summer, being a Opel fan, you've got the Opel Corsa Lite 1.2. The Lite was recently introduced. I think it came around last year, 2024, and they're not very common, but I have been seeing quite a few of them actually. The Lite, the Corsa Lights are very famous from back in the day. So South Africa still has a lot of Opel fans, and they would resonate with the Corsa Lite name. So it's a 1.2 manual transmission. 1.2 turbo. You've got 74 kilowatts and 205 newton meters. So you're slightly down on kilowatts, but you are close with the torque. As you can see, if you get the GS line, you get a slightly higher output in the engine, which is more than the other vehicles that I've mentioned. So 74 kilowatts, 205 newton meters. You've got a 6-speed manual front wheel drive. Again, comprehensively spec'd. Here you got even a tire pressure monitor. Let's see your safety features. Again, electronic stability program. You've got hill start assist. It's nice to see that all these vehicles that I've mentioned have your stability program. Yep, very nicely spec'd. Other standout features, I mean, considering it is the Lite and the entry into the Corsa range, you're not left wanting for much. Warranty 5 years, 100,000 kilometers. Again, you're fine for a good 5 years. Next on my list is the Franks. I think many of us, my South African viewers, would be surprised if I did not have a Suzuki on this list. So the one that I chose is the Franks GL Auto. So you can obviously get something like a Baleno, which is cheaper and slightly smaller, but the Franks is the one. Just for me, it looks nice and sporty, so I've chose the GL Auto. So there's your Franks. Let's go find our spec sheet for the GL. Okay. So there is only one engine option in the Franks range, which is a 1.5 liter naturally aspirated engine. It's the famous K15B. It's known for reliability, and Suzuki uses it across many of their models in their lineup. It's got 77 kilowatts and 138 newton meters of torque. So slightly down on power compared to my other vehicles that I have here, but this engine is known for reliability. And with the vehicle being fairly light, it is a fairly sprightly drive. You would enjoy it more, I feel, if you had the 5-speed manual transmission, but with the traffic and stop go today, even on the highway, you barely get up to 20 kilometers per hour. Your 4-speed automatic makes more sense. So I've chosen the 4-speed automatic because I did see a few in my price range. So let's see our specs. So your GL, you get alloy wheels, but it's a different look to your GLX. Let's just go to the main features that stand out. GL, you've got dual front airbags. You've got your ABS with EBD. You've got your ESP and hill hold. So again, all the vehicles on my list have traction control. Suzuki I know as well. It's not listed on this brochure, but I know they also come with a 5-year warranty. So all my vehicles, you've got traction control and you've got a 5-year warranty. So I would advise, go to your dealerships, take the cars for a test drive, see which one you like, which one first, because there's a lot of different factors you need to take into consideration when buying a car. And as you can see, my vehicles on my list, they don't fit into any specific category. They just fit into my price range. I've got some small SUVs, I've got hatchbacks, I've got like a coupe looking hatchback. So take your time, check them out. But I think if you had chosen either one, you won't be left wanting. Cool. And then the last one on my list, this is from the Chinese brands. I only managed to find one nice one in my budget. Most of the other Chinese brands, from 300,000 up, you can get quite some nice ones, fully spec'd, But for 300,000 under, and this is also quite a popular vehicle, is the Chery Tiggo 4. The specific spec I'm looking at is the Pro 4 1.5 lit with the CVT transmission. This to me, I know it as the normally aspirated one. There is a turbocharged version, but the specific one is the normally aspirated one. All of these spec sheets that I'm going through, you can find it on the manufacturer's websites. They are the latest ones that they have there, which I downloaded. So let's check it out. So the LIT is this 1.5 VVT engine with 83 kilowatts of power and 138 Newton meters. So power is still there relative to my selections, but talk a bit down since this is the non-turbocharged one. Here is where the Chinese brands normally shine, is with the specs. For this 1.5 liter, I'm looking at this Comfort CVT. We've got dual front airbags. Then we don't have the other ones here because you get it higher up in the range, but you got your ABS and EBD. You've got your brake assist, you've got your stability program, traction control, roll stability control. Your interior, you have all your infotainment that you need. And here your warranty is a 5-year again, 5-year warranty, but 150,000 kilometers. And you have a 1 million kilometer 10-year engine warranty, which is unheard of in my other brands. The long established brands, you'd never hear of this, but your Chery is offering a 1 million kilometer 10-year engine warranty. So guys, like I said, go test drive the vehicle, see which one you like. With the Chinese vehicle, yes, they haven't been in the country that long, but look at the reassurance they give you. 1 million kilometers for your engine warranty. And I mean, at the rate they're going and they're selling, I don't see them really going and leaving the country. So they'll be here in those 10 years if you want to use that warranty. Oh guys, just to mention, right, the Citroen Aircross is going to get a sister or a brother in the near future. Since, Opel is part of the group, the Stellantis group, they are launching the Frontera. I'm going to put a picture up on the screen of what that looks like now. I'm not sure what price this is going to come in at, but I doubt it's going to be under the 300,000 Rand threshold. Hopefully second-hand prices will come in that. But if you're Opel fan and you want to wait for that, considering my review on the Aircross, then I think wait for that. Cool. Thanks guys. That's it for the 300,000k budget.
Cool, and that's the end of the video, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Jay's Motor World. I will be doing another video on a 400k budget and one on a 200k budget that will come up in the following weeks. Stay safe out there.